What's up, badass Black Desert Mobile fans? So I went through and tested most areas in Hadum Realm, farming to find out which realms or zones give the most experience based off of Holy Vial usage. Now, there's a couple key factors here. Number one, I had to make sure all my skills stayed the same. Number two, I had to make sure experience stayed the same throughout this whole experience. And so if there was a bell popped, that actually I had to stop farming, wait for that bell to go off, and then continue farming. This did take me about a week or so to get the results because of the bells, and I had to make sure I didn't use any hot time scrolls, any soups, chicken soups, advanced chicken soups. I had to make sure my light stones and pets were always the same. I had to make sure I always had the same skills equipped, the whole nine. So that way, when the results were tested, or when I tested it, I could get the most accurate results. There, one thing I do want to note here, I did test all of these on level 3 in Hadum, and what I did was it actually popped up a timer. I went into a new territory with that timer turned on. I started farming. As soon as I start farming, I turn the timer on, and it takes about 2 minutes. It depends on the realm or the zone that you're in to go through one vial on level 3. Some take 2.5 minutes. Some took like a minute 58. We're going to find out which ones farm a little bit quicker here in this video. And this video really helps you out if you are maxed on your Hadum knowledge, which people are starting to get to as the time progresses that Hadum has been out. People are starting to have that max knowledge. So if you have max knowledge, then I recommend obviously farming in the zones that give you the most experience. If you aren't maxed on your knowledge, and you're going to want to make sure you max that first, just know that these areas are going to be the best to farm for experience. So if you're looking for experience, you're close to getting to that next level, then maybe you want to farm in one of these zones that I'm about to show you to capitalize on that. All right, so before we get in, I want to explain the map and how I did this, because this is imperative. I did not test Serendia, Neutral Border Zone, North Calpheon, and most of Balanos. There's just not enough time in a day to additionally farm all of these zones. I apologize. From the results that I got from Southeast Calpheon and most of Southwest Calpheon, most of these zones just don't have the mob density, even in Hadum, to be able to compete with the North Medea, South Medea, West Valencia, and North Valencia zones. So those zones just don't have the mob density needed. Now, they do, obviously, you do need to farm them for the knowledge. As you can see here, I'm a slacker. My knowledges are all at about 70%. I know some of you guys are out there at 100%. Kudos to you. But anyway, so I tested North Valencia. I tested the Kadri Ruins and the Kadri Canyon. I did do 3 total tests for results there. And I will give a combat power recommendation towards the middle of this video. And for Kadri Ruins, I cannot actually farm there successfully. So my results for Kadri are not 100% accurate because I'm not able to one-shot mobs, which is imperative for the results of this video to be able to one-shot mobs. West Valencia, I tested one spot in each of the Basilics areas and got an average. Centaur area 3 times, Bashim 3 times, Wargon 3 times, and I got an average of the fastest results there. You obviously want to farm in a good mob density area in the middle of them. And one key note here is that if you're farming for experience, this is an experience to help you guys understand experience. Obviously, you want to farm on violent mobs within Hadum because they offer a guaranteed drop rate on spoils. So if you're looking for your Chaos Crystals, Experience Scrolls as well, I recommend farming in these zones and farming on top of a violent mob if you can find them. All right, moving on to North Medea. I tested Schultz areas 1 time each, Sawson, Elric, Helm. So as you can see, all these areas do take quite some time to test. South Medea, Hasra, as well as the Hasra Hidden Chamber, Soldier's Grave, or Soldier's areas, Mains, Omar's, Wandering Rogue, Abandoned Iron Mine, Marnie's areas, and then I also tested Southwest Calpheon, Hexe areas, Calpheon's areas, Monastery, Rudum, Catfish, Mancha, and then lastly, I also tested, well, not lastly, I also tested the O's areas, so these 2, and the Sawnel areas. And then lastly, I also tested the Balanos Castle Royal Garden, as well as the Underwater Cave. So those are the areas that I tested, and the results are going to be as follows. We'll head over there and check that out. Let's minimize this. We'll just put this up a little bit. All right, so just so you can see, I tested all of these areas. You can see the testing over here. We'll take off the clock. You can see the testing over here for all those areas. All right, now for the results-wise, so at the top you can see Southeast Calpheon up here, Sawnel and O's. And the recommended CP, this isn't the recommended CP that the game gives you, by the way. So, for example, Kadri recommended CP is let's head over actually real quick and show you for Kadri. So for Kadri recommended CP, it's actually 15,000. And I can tell you, I'm at 16,000 and I can't one-shot those mobs. I can stay alive, sure. I can kill them, sure, but I can't one-shot the mobs. I'm almost 16,100 CP with my sushi stone on. I don't have it on at the moment, but I can't one shot the mobs. So if you look at Kadri right here, the average is 3 minutes and 2 seconds it took me to fully use one vial inside of Hadum farming at max on level 3. And so because I can't successfully farm there at a good rate, I don't recommend Kadri if you're unless you're at least at the 16.5 CP rating. Basilisks, you want to be at 15,000 again. Centaurs, 14,000, and so on. I'm not going to go through them all. You can see them there. I did increase the CP by about 1,000 for each one of those zones because the recommended zone CP is just to kill the mobs, not to be able to one-shot them. You want to be able to one-shot them for experience gains. All right. Next is basilisks, and some people are going to be shocked by this. I actually started doing this video because of somebody who reached out to me. Hey, they said, hey, I noticed that you actually gain more experience from the basilisk area, even though the mob density there just isn't as good. And you actually gain more experience for each mob that you kill inside of the basilisk area, which is very interesting. Now, one last thing, let's take one step back real quick. One last thing is, yes, you see some 2-minute marks on here, and I want to tell you guys that this is a test for experience. I understand that some of you guys can farm one vial on level 3 in a minute, minute and a half, minute 45, and you're like, man, your times are slow. That's fine. I don't mind if my times are slower than yours or even faster than yours. I mind that all of the stuff stays the same, so experience gain rates are all the same, my skills stay all the same, and I try to find the best place to farm inside of each of these zones. That's what's important. Not the times themselves per se, but how much experience I was able to gain, and everything stayed the same. All right, so back to basilisks. Basilisks, I was able to get my one vial done in the fastest time. So this person that reached out to me was correct in a minute and 58 seconds. So even if you're able to farm faster than minute 58 in most of these realms, I guarantee you, you're going to farm even faster in the basilisks areas. Now, I know that that means that more people are going to be farming in the zone. It is what it is, but the basilisks is the fastest. Centaurs, pretty slow at 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Bashim, slow again at 2 minutes and 21 seconds. Waragon, slow again at 220. Schultz wasn't too bad at 212. Saucin area, I found pretty good success at 2 minutes and 6 seconds on average, and this was the average. You can see some averages over here, 3. So for Saucin, 209, 206, and 205. I would just put it right in the middle at 206. Maybe it would have been 207, but that is what it is. Elric areas, 210. Helms areas, 212. Hasra areas, 210. Soldiers areas has great mob density in some certain locations, so I was able to, the average there is 205, so again, pretty solid score there. Mains area was a little higher at 215. Omar Lava Cave and Omar Lava Fields, I found very good success. I actually had one time sub 2 minutes, almost getting close to the basilisks, and I don't think it's because I'm getting more experience there. I feel like it's because the mob density there is just so compact in some of the areas that you have more mobs to kill with the, your skill. So 2 minutes there. They are the second fastest time as far as experience. So, I made experience gain rate videos before, and I said before Omar was the fastest before Basilisk area came out, and Omar is still one of the fastest. Like, if you look back at my old experience gain rate videos, I had Omar as one of the top gain rate experience places, and that still holds true. Wandering Rogues, 210. Abandoned Iron Mine, 209. Marnie's area is 213. Hexa, you're going to start to see that these times go back up or go up, and that's because the mob density in Southwest Calphion and Southeast Calphion just isn't as good, even on Hadum. I just couldn't find too great of mob density areas within these locations, which is important, obviously. So Hexa at 220, Calphion 240, and that's the Calphion areas within those, so that's actually going to be these two. We go over here real quick. That's actually going to be the shrine and the shrine site. Monastery, which is the hidden monastery and abandoned monastery, 240. Mancha area is 233. The Rudums was the best out of these at 228. Catfish at 236. The Oz area is out of Southeast Calpheon, 250, so pretty slow. And Sawmill, 241. And what's great about these testings is, A, not everybody's at, 17,000 CP. So not everybody's going to be able to successfully farm at basilisks or some of these areas that give greater experience gains. Cron Underwater, I forgot to mention those two. Cron Underwater, 207, and Cron Royal Garden, 211. So, about average, nothing that stood out aside from Basilisks, Sawson, Soldiers, and Omar. I mean, you might be able to get away with Cron Underwater. They do have some good mob density areas there as well. But what's nice about these areas is if you're, 10,000 CP, a great area to farm is Cron Underwater. If you are 16,000 CP, 15,000, a good area to farm is Basilisks. If you're 10,005, good area to farm is Soldier's Grave. So I know that there's newer players that aren't at a high CP. I did hop on to BDM's live stream yesterday, and I noticed that a lot of people were under 15,000 CP. So this helps you guys as well know where to farm at for experience. Again, I do strongly recommend making sure your Hadum knowledge is maxed first. If it is, then you can start to farm for experience to get experience gain rates. That is everything for this video. It did take a lot of time to test all of these. I know you guys love these type of videos because it helps you understand where you should be auto farming when you're AFK. If you have any questions or comments, you want to see something else, some other kind of testing, leave that in the comment section down below. You guys know me. I love to do testing. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you've enjoyed the video, smash that like button on your way out. I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to check out the description as well. With that being said, I will see you next time.